Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I've pulled for you for your overall energy the Six of Pentacles. This is something of a theme over the total lunar eclipse, blood moon in Virgo, occurring on the 13th or 14th, depending on where you are in the world. This is a focus on our emotions, our intuition, and the more mysterious hidden parts of our psyche. So think High Priestess for those of you that are reasonably familiar with tarot cards as the overall energy that is prompting us to release, to become more whole, more aware of our wholeness, our inner strength, our inner wisdom that is there within us. The Six of Pentacles is very much describing an energy that applies to this very specific area in your own arena of activities where you establish routines and habits. And the Six of Pentacles is describing the way that you have learned to build and mediate your relationships in the moment. It seems to me that you have prioritized, or you're very clear about those relationships that are priorities for you. And by priorities, I believe for you, that means these are relationships that are active in allowing you or supporting you in doing the things that you feel urgently called to do. And this is bringing you more fully into the present moment and the balance of power within your relationships that feels clean, direct, and authentic, so that there is an emphasis on being whole within and identifying with others who also are aligned with similar spiritual principles, humanitarian values, etc., so that there's a sense of humility that is coming to you through the activities during this full moon cycle. This is a general reading for Aries. It isn't going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in personal reading, information about that is in the description box below. I am doing what is an abbreviated horoscope reading. I'll clarify each of the cards, and then I will use a couple of oracle cards throughout. So, welcome to all of you that are new and those of you that are familiar, and I appreciate the time that you're spending with me. So, in your 10th house, the midheaven, the highest star in your sky, this is the Eight of Cups, and this is describing you recognizing how much you've learned from your intimate, close, evolving relationships. No matter how you judge or prioritize them in terms of the support they offer for your current activities, you are very aware that you have grown through your ability to grow these close relationships, that you've changed, others have changed, and you continue to be committed to honoring the change, the humility that the relationships have brought you through the lessons that you've learned. But you understand that the support of relationships, many relationships, this often refers to families. This can also be professional, a long-standing professional community of colleagues, that you're ready, you've gained courage, you've gained the confidence to move forward towards something that is ultimately a significant challenge to you. You're ready and prepared for this challenge, this move up and on into an area that you feel absolutely defines your contribution to the world. In the first house, the Nine of Swords is describing really your ability to objectify the suffering, the pain that you have experienced. When I say objectify, I'm really talking about the dynamics of this particular total lunar eclipse in Virgo. It's called a blood moon because apparently, depending on where you are in the world, if it's visible to you, I don't know that it's visible in North America, but it turns a kind of pinkish color. But it also refers to our relationship to our emotions and our intuition. Being in Virgo, it's about how we understand those, how we're able to communicate that, how we're able to learn from those struggles. And this is really activating and accelerating the way in which you can summarize the sense of victimization or exclusion you've experienced at an emotional level, and the way in which you understand that it is no longer a part of your sense of who you are. You're no longer that unempowered individual that suffered at the hands of others, when actually you have moved beyond the judgment of others. And this also means that you have understood that you are beyond judging others, that it is not your role, and that the definition of your empowerment at this time, your evolution, your growth, is really around the maturity, the vulnerability that you understand you can exhibit as the fastest way to tap into your own inner strength and wisdom. In the fourth house of your family, your home, your roots and foundation, the Hermit card is indicating that you are really doing your healing at your base, within your domestic space or home, however you define that. The home absolutely can be within your soul. This can be within yourself. It needn't be a location, but this is the way in which you validate your own experiences and the authority you gained from them. This is a beautiful healing card, and one in which, as you learn and accumulate the lessons of your experiences, you understand that your role, your job, is to share that experience with others. So this ends up creating a teachable moment for you, as well as a clear understanding that your own growth, your own process is being modeled for others. And in the seventh house of significant relationships, the Page of Cups is describing all of this translating into a beautiful heart openness. And part of that heart openness for you, Aries, in particular, is about seeing yourself as a part of your collectivity. There is such a strong, fiery, passionate, pioneering way in which you love to initiate action. And that has a lot of leadership overtones. But I actually believe that this total lunar eclipse, full blood moon, is really about your humility, your understanding that, in fact, you are more like your colleagues than not, and that you too are learning to learn from others, not always be the one out front. And that time of pioneering is always integrated into your activities because that's who you are. But you're learning how to modulate that in terms of your significant relationships, those you work with, the way that you perform your service. If this reading is resonating for you, Aries, please like this video, please share this with others, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pulled the Doubt card. I release the need to know all the answers. I think this is pretty profound. I do think that there is a part of the full moon energy that emphasizes how we sort, analyze, think, objectify our executive abilities. And I do think that as a result of intellectualizing our feelings, we often catch ourselves up in not being clear about what our intuition is actually telling us. So this is that second guessing, like getting ahead of yourself or trying to be too thorough, not allowing yourself to relax into the flow of your activities and relationships in the moment. And when you get there, you have a tendency to become doubtful, to be over analytical, overcritical, overly judgmental. And that begins a kind of reactive spiral that is not productive to the growth that you are channeling at this particular time. So in the first house, the Nine of Swords is clarified by the Ten of Swords. The process of ending the sense of releasing suffering, ending pain, understanding that pain is a way of expressing a kind of vulnerability in which you felt yourself to be a victim, that you are releasing the whole experience of processing negative emotions, particularly when it comes to your family of origin or your conditioning. And that applies to all of us that have grown up in society. None of us were born in the woods. We all were a part of a culture, a family, a community that had expectations of us. And really unbinding yourself from the expectations of others is part of your life work. That's part of how you evolve. And you are understanding the process now is becoming automatic. Endings augur beginnings, and you're now celebrating at a certain level the release of the anxieties around what others expect of you. Even if you've long abandoned the need to conform to that, there's still a pressure that many of us feel because we love the people who trained us, even if they weren't always loving in their care for us. And understanding that releasing is part of growing. And so this is, I feel, becoming a more automatic part of your process of healing, of moving forward in a more productive way. In the fourth house, the Hermit card is clarified by the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is, again, a sort of anticipatory energy. You have planned something. You may be in the stages of planning something, and you are beginning to make the connections, gather the resources that you need to move forward with a plan or a proposal. But you are necessarily having to anticipate some feedback on your initial plans. This is part of the learning process of doing something differently, starting something that you haven't started before, a project. So there's a kind of back and forth that you may be experiencing that is productive, that is exciting, but also requires a lot of humility, a lot of vulnerability, as learning always requires us to be as fluid as possible about what we know and what we don't know. In the seventh house, the house of your significant relationships, the Devil card is clarifying the Page of Cups. I like this because it is indicating that you have been a creature of structure and habit. There are many of the expectations or the social norms that you have invested in your significant relationships. This can relate to your own family, structured similarly to the way your family of origin was structured, as an example. It can be the need for this kind of structure in order for you to feel safe and protected. But there is a limit that you are breaking through here. And this is around again, the energy of this full moon, this vulnerability, this tapping into your emotions at a very deep level, at an unknown, mysterious level. This is about your subconscious energies, even the collective unconscious, piercing the veil of your own particular aura, so that there is a sense of attunement with not just people, but events that are going on around you. The way that it is accelerating your growth is through, ultimately, this open heart, this willingness to allow your natural talent, gifts, and energies to flow, to surface, to pursue the growth of those as part of your potential. And in the 10th house of your social position, the way others see you, Page of Pentacles is clarifying the 8 of Cups. There's a lot of energy here around getting something started, letting go of the past in order to clear the decks for something new. And here you're exhibiting this willingness to do whatever it takes to get something off the ground, to leverage an activity that is evolving, that is developing, that you're building or creating out in front of the public. You have your eye on your audience, your community, your clients, your students, and what you're doing, you are leveraging in that way that hopes to maximize your exposure with regard to the community around you, the world even. I'm going to finish up this reading, Aries, with a crystal oracle, and hope this has been insightful or helpful to you. And I pulled Peace. This is the clear quartz or gemstone, and it describes the crown chakra, or the area where you are allowing yourself to receive the information intuitively from wherever you are sensitized to do so. And that is where the peace is the key word. In stillness, the answer will be revealed. If you enjoy this content and you'd like more, please check out this video. And until next time, Aries, namaste.